Captain Peter Cutsey, Part 2, Circle to Land. We're on vectors for a localizer approach to runway 13 right in Abu Dhabi. And we're just continuing this briefing as Part 2 from what we looked at in Part 1. We've extended the intercept to Kimmel, which is approximately 13 nautical miles from touchdown. We're in a level of flight at 3,000 in VNAV path. And we will start to configure with flap 13 miles to touchdown, somewhere between 12 and 15 nautical miles is a good time in level flight. So we'll pick Kimmel today. The descent, approach procedures, and applicable checklists have been completed. The first officer is in VSD with terrain selected. The captain is not in VSD and has weather radar selected. We're going to leave the captain without VSD so we can look at the nav display for this demonstration. We've just been given a vector to turn base leg. Surface wind is 220 at 20 knots, a 90-degree crosswind for our approach. And as we mentioned before, the first officer will go to the Prague 2-4 so that we can have a look at headwind, tailwind components as we discussed in Part 1. And we've been given a heading for the intercept. And we've been cleared to intercept the approach course and cleared for the localizer approach to runway 13 right, circling to land, runway 31 left. LNAV is engaged. We saw that on the PFD. We can now select the heading bug to runway track. We have an AMP of 0.04 with an RMP of 1.0 at this point, so our map should be good. Let's go ahead and have a look at it. The localizer is tuned, and we are on the localizer. So map integrity checks out. FMC message reminding us to reset the MCP altitude, which we will do shortly. We're coming up to Kimmel. Now is a good time to start configuring for flaps. Flaps 1. Set flap 1 speed. Flaps 5. Set flaps 5 speed. And as we come up to SOC 01, we're thinking of 8 items that we are going to complete. And the 8 items are: first, MDA 1100, second, AMP 0.03, third, VNAV path, fourth, fifth, and sixth, gear down, flaps 15, speed brakes armed. And open the speed window, it is, and the last item is to select the flaps 15 speed. 8 items completed. There is top of descent. There is the NPS scale for the glide path and also for the localizer on the PFD and the nav display. There's top of descent. And descent has begun on schedule. Good rate of descent. We'll look ahead. We're expecting the radio altimeter to become alive shortly. Radio altimeter alive. Off-schedule descent. Master caution, we've agreed that we will actually cancel it. We both agreed that. The arc here indicates where on our course, our track, that we will actually level off at the MDA, which we've set. So that's good. Always be concerned and watching the radio altimeter with respect to the barometric altimeter and knowing that what the difference should be, taking the temperature into consideration. Today we're ISA plus 15. So no concerns with respect to corrections to altimeters. We are in VNAV path and we are in LNAV and lateral path. Remember, the white LNAV here is for the go around procedure or the missed approach. There is our minimum bar on the altitude tape. We're approaching minimum. Altitude hold. Pre-select our heading to 086 as we discussed. Missed approach altitude set, 4,000 feet. Heading cell. And we notice that on the PFD and the light. So the light, push the light and the FMA. Everything's done in threes. Wings levels, timing started. The airport was in sight, by the way. We're Cabo-OK today for this demonstration. We've confirmed on the Progress 2-4 our tailwind component of 14 knots. Half of that is 7. 45 minus 7 is 38 seconds. So our timing we're going to go to will be 38 seconds. Which is now heading 133. Will allow us to track the final approach course, final flap setting, flap 30, selected, VREF 30 plus 5, set. Landing checklist complete. Halfway through the aircraft symbol now. Timing has started. 30-second timing. .90-degree turn, 215, 216 to be exact. Vertical speed selected. When we roll wings level, we'll start a descent at 250 feet per minute. VS enunciated. And we'll do that until we pick up the puppy. And we'll pause here. What we're looking for on the nav display is when the 30-second trend vector is touches the tip of it, touches the extended center line, is a good time to start. The reason I say that is the trend vector takes into account that we have a headwind and takes into account our ground speed. So it is an incredible tool. And if we actually keep the tip of the 30-second trend vector on the extended center line, we will in fact roll out on final. So we'll get back to that and we'll go up and start our turn. Keeping the trend vector on the, and we picked up the poppy so we can increase our descent rate, keeping the tip of that, and we'll pause. So we've got the poppy in sight and we are on the poppy, 2 red and 2 white, and we've achieved the aim. And here we are, wings level on final. We're just slightly low, making a slight correction. Mission accomplished. End of video. Thanks for watching.